Hello guys, I'm Hypothetical Tiger, and this is my any percent submission video for Dino Thunder for AGDQ 2018. So this game is basically all around movement. There isn't any tricks. Most time saves in this game come from just executing the levels correctly and getting these power-ups that let you boost your Zord's speed. So to start off, you basically just mash B to skip the opening cutscene and get right into the gameplay. It's nice. All cutscenes in this game are skippable. So, to start off this run, all you have to do is get these 3 crystals in order to power up your Zord, basically, so that it's back at full health, and you can continue playing the game. So, a little bit about this game. It's really short for what it is. There's only 24 missions, and it's about a 27-minute speedrun if you're good at it. And like I said earlier, not any glitches, but it's still fun to watch even without the glitches, and if you like Power Rangers, it's always a nice thing to see. So that was the end of the first mission. See, it's very quick, and basically there's a couple different worlds in this. Right now this is the tar pits, and its whole thing is, it's basically the tutorial world of the game. So in this second mission you learn that you can shoot, and it's crazy. And then you have to shoot these targets, and there's a little reticle above every target when you look towards it. Basically, that's just to help you aim, because this game was made for children, because that's what the Power Rangers TV show is marketed to. So it just makes it really easy, and it makes shooting things fast, especially if you can aim right at them quickly. So now here we're going to be seen using our special attack. We're actually going to be using that a lot, because it does a lot of damage compared to your normal just bullets that you fire. And right there we broke open an orange crystal, which gives us a power-up, and those power-ups are used to activate the special attack. After this mission, we're going to be getting a green crystal or blue crystal, whichever one you like, and that gives you a speed power-up, which is what we have to get some of those in order to save time on our normal movement, because all the Zord's movement speeds are fixed, but you can use these power-ups to get more speed. And so far we basically have the slowest Zord, which is the Tricera Zord. We won't be getting the fastest Zord until later in the run. So that was the end of mission 3. This game's very quickly. So these are the enemies in this game. These are the lobbers, or the lobsters if you want to call them that. And basically this mission is just running around and killing them. Now you may think, because this is a kid's game, it's impossible to die. But let me tell you, these lobsters can be really annoying and kill you when you're not expecting it. And there we move closer to the 5th mission, so that we don't have to move far to activate it after we complete the 4th. So now we're going to be getting our second Zord here, which is the Tricera Zord. So we need to run around and get these fossil parts to then bring them to the portal and then get the new Zord. Yeah, these beginning missions are all about collecting things, and that's what most of this game is. But there's collecting, and there's also, believe it or not, some intermediate and hard strats that you could actually do in place of the easier strats. Even though this seems like a very simple speed game, there's actually some variation of strats depending on the player. So now we're going to have the Tricera Zord, which lets us fly, and that can be very helpful. Now the Tricera Zord's pretty slow, but the fact that you can fly with it makes it a good Zord to use every now and then. So this is the last mission that we're actually going to be doing in the tar pits, and it's already the 6th mission. This game is very fast. So you basically can just go straight to the next part. You don't need to go through all these circles, even though the game urges you to fly through them, even though you really don't have to, because as long as you know what to do, the game is fine with you going there. So now you have to use a power up here so that you can get the Naruto Scroll. That's what we like to call it in the community. And then fly to the Invisiportal, which will take us to Reefside Canyon, which is the 2nd area of the game. So basically we just need to fly here. It would be slower to use the Tricera Zord because of the tar slows you down. So that was the first area of the game completed. And now we're on the Reefside Canyon. You have these little loading screens, which are basically the only stop from action in this game, and the text at the beginning of the levels. But as long as you mash B at the start of every area, then you will skip the cutscene. So now we're going to be getting the Tricera Zord, which is the 2nd fastest Zord in the game, and we're going to be using it a lot until we get the fastest Zord. And once again, another collection mission. Just got to get the fossils. Not much explanation here. There was a second power-up we got. We abuse those power-ups quite often because they're actually very helpful. They're one of the things that changed this game like immensely. It went from a game that was like kind of slow without any like quick movement because we would just use the fastest Zord and go. But now we use the fastest Zord with these power-ups and it makes moving across like every level very quick and it's really nice. So now we have the Tricera Zord. So the Tricera Zord is a bit different. It doesn't shoot anything and it can't jump. So hitting B will actually shake your head and you can reflect attacks back at the enemies, which is also very helpful. So we want to hit A after we want to hit A once to start the mission, because doing that skips the text of not being able to jump. If you mash A there, the game will think you're trying to jump, and you'll have the text, which is unskippable, on the screen for a bit, and you won't be able to start this mission right away. The way this mission works is you have to go through the 2 text boxes, but if you activate a text box while the mission starts or before it, if it's still on the screen, you're not going to be able to start the mission until it's gone so you can clear those 2 text boxes. So we make sure to avoid the car at the beginning and not jump when we're actually trying to enter the level. And that's a very simple level, just going around and breaking the crystals to save the water supply. Who knows why crystals are ruining the water supply, but you know, whatever. Video game logic. Also, you can't be careless because you're a Power Ranger. Fun fact, if you actually run over enough cars, the game will quit the mission for you if you're in a mission. So here's what I was talking about with the too heavy to jump thing. If this would have happened on the other mission, then we would have also had to wait for it to go away. That was because I didn't mash A while running to a different mission in order to get that text up and then have it cleared. Because once it's there, it's cleared forever. So this is an auto-scroller mission, and it's actually the final mission in this area. These missions are very quick, and they're also really nice to watch. So yeah, this is just an auto-scroller of just hoping the Brachiozord doesn't get hit by these enemies, and they always spawn in the same place. So as long as you know where they're at, you can get them killed before they actually hurt the Brachiozord. This mission, these types of missions, there's 2 of these in the game with the Brachiozord. They can be kind of annoying because sometimes you'll think you kill an enemy because the reticle says that it was over it. And you shoot it once, but it doesn't actually die. And then you end up losing because the Brachiozord dies. That's why usually when I shoot the lobbers, I make sure to shoot multiple projectiles so that they'll die and we won't have to worry about it. And we also got another speed power up there. Basically, during these auto-scrollers, you'll see it more in the second one. This one only gets that and then orange crystal. But we use these auto-scrollers as an easy way to help us get materials that we'll need for going fast later. We use the power-ups a lot to do special attacks because there's a whole mission focused around special attacks later in the game. So we need to make sure we have the certain amount of the special attacks ready, because you also need it to defeat the 2 bosses in the game. And we need the speed power-ups, obviously, to give a little speed upgrade for a small amount of time to our Zords. But yeah, once you kill all the lobbers, you really can just wait in the Invisiportal until the Brachiozord gets there. He's kind of slow, which makes this level not the best, but at least you're killing stuff and running around while it's happening, so it's not like a huge boring thing. So that was the end of Reefside Canyon. So now we're going to be going to Reefside City. This city's really cool and has a couple cool missions with some unique routing. So here we switch to Tricera Zord because it's the second fastest Zord in the game, like I said earlier. And then we use a speed power up to help us get across here all the way to the red mission beacon quickly. Now, since we did that, we actually entered the beacon before the text ended, which you're not supposed to do normally because the game doesn't expect you to know to do that. So you can actually start flying as the Terrazord a bit earlier before the text comes up showing you what to do in the mission, which is a kind of cool thing. It doesn't really save time, but it's just something that's pretty cool. And now we can just fly around and shoot all of these satellites. pretty self-explanatory mission. You just gotta fly around and shoot. Satellites will also break if you run into them, but the only one where that's faster to do is this final one. And now we go to the middle, and we have to destroy the floating ball with a special attack. And I try not to go off of the building there, because if you go off of the building during your animation, you'll actually fall to the ground, and that's kind of slow. So here's a mission that uses the special attacks. This doesn't use it as much as other ones in the game, but this is definitely a cool first look at using the special attack over and over again. And you're going to see me hopefully have near 5 of the power-ups in my inventory to use the special attack, because the first boss fight of the game is coming up, and you don't need 5 for it, but having 5 sets you up for later. You only need 3 for the fight, but 5 is an optimal number to come out of the fight with. And we switch to Tricera Zord because it's faster than running with the Tyranno to each crystal. Or generators. Now there's only 2 left. I accidentally used the Tricera special attack there, but that's okay. So now basically we only have 1 mission left before the first boss fight in the game. And the first boss fight is against a little guy named Zeltrax. And Zeltrax is actually such a great boss that they decided to put him in the game twice. It's great. You fight him once and then you fight him again to beat the game. He's so creative, and he's definitely not the easiest boss ever. So now this next mission is one of those missions that I was talking about that has an intermediate, a hard, and a beginner strat. Basically the intermediate and the hard are sort of down together. But it introduces these new enemies called the taggers, which if they hit you, they will send you back to the start of the mission, so they can be really annoying. But even with mashing B as Tricera Zord, these taggers can sometimes hit you. So it makes this a really annoying mission to do. But the faster way would be to do this, what I'm doing. But the slower way, but more safe way, would be to fly over all them with the Pterazord. So now we basically run from Reefside City back to Reefside Canyon, and we're going to go back to the tar pits, which is where Zeltrax is hanging out, waiting for us to fight him for the first boss fight. Once you're past the Reefside City part with the taggers, it's not that hard, because there's only 2 taggers in this area, and they're very easy to just get past. You don't really have to hope that you don't get screwed over. They're normally really nice and don't mess you up. So now there's just 2 cutscenes that we're going to have to go through, and then we can fight Zeltrax. So Zeltrax's whole thing is he puts his hand up, and he basically charges an attack to hit you with. And all you have to do is hit him while he's charging, and then use a special move on him. So like that, and then you just rush in with the special move. And this is one of the 2 times we'll actually use a Megazord for this boss fight, and then the Zeltrax 2 boss fight. And he only takes 3 hits, so he's not that bad. But he can be kind of annoying if you keep getting hit by him, or if you use your special attack too early. If you use your special attack too early or go too close to him, he'll like push you away, which can be annoying.
Your robot is no match for me.
So there was the first Zeltrax fight. We're obviously no match for him. He said it himself. Do 2 jumps for swag there. Now we're going to be going to the next area of the game, which is called the Jungle Island. And this area is pretty cool. It's probably one of my favorite. It has a really cool Zord in it and just cool missions in general. But it does have another Brachiosaur auto-scroller mission. But it's not that big of a deal. At least during that mission we can run around and get power-ups and stuff. So the first mission of Jungle Island is going to be right in front of us. And we moved to Tricera because he's the fastest Zord that we have right now. And we need to get these DNA pods in order to get the next Zord, which is the Tricera Zord. So on the second pod, we're actually going to be using one of our power-ups, speed power-ups, in order to get the other ones quickly. For some reason, with certain Zords, if you don't touch anything, or you don't try to attack while using a speed power-up, it continues the speed power-up. But with Tricera Zord, and if you just attack, it'll actually stop your speed. Tricera Zord will stop eventually. Other Zords, if you attack, it'll stop then. But if you just use the power-up and just continue running without attacking, then it'll actually conserve your speed, and that's really helpful. And it makes that mission very quick. So here's another mission where we're going to need the power-ups. There's going to be a couple crystals and then this giant building that we're going to need to destroy. Basically, you use the Zord on its corresponding crystal with the color, and you use its special attack on them. It's a very simple mission, but the second half of it, when you actually have to destroy the building, is the harder part. Because there's 2 taggers that spawn, and obviously if they hit you, they'll send you back to the beginning of the mission, and it's not like a far run away from the building, but it's that run you don't want to have to take. So I took it a little safe here, and I used the Tricera Zord for a bit. Usually I'll turn right to Tricera, and then use its special attack, but since I was on top of the building, we got a weird little glitch there that was happening. And once you kill the taggers, they come out of that door, so that's why I was hitting it from the door instead of on a different spot. So now we get to actually use the Tricera Zord to get these stickler weed plants. Gotta use your power-ups on them. And right there was a tagger coming for us. So you gotta get close enough to the plant, but far enough away from the tagger so you can use the power-up and get both the tagger and the plant and not have to worry about it. This is actually one of the harder missions to get a 1 cycle on. As you can see, there's a timer up there, and this mission moves pretty fast. At first, we weren't sure if we would find a route that gets you a 1 cycle, but as a beginner, this can be pretty hard if you aren't used to the route. So this is the next Brachio Zord mission, and we're basically just gonna collect power-ups through it. Both the speed and the special move power-ups. It's just another one of those. It's not as entertaining as the first one because we don't really kill any enemies. We kill a couple, like that first one and some other ones, but we're not like constantly running around looking for enemies to kill because the Brachio Zord is so slow that it takes it a while to actually get to the new enemies that you actually need to kill. Like, you don't need to kill a lot of these enemies. I just do it because there's nothing to do during this part. But we will be getting a lot of speed power-ups, especially here, because there's a little cave that has a Dino Morpher in it. But along with that Dino Morpher is a lot of power-ups, which is very nice and sets us up for endgame pretty well. As long as you execute correctly, this basically helps you have enough special move power-ups for the final boss and the final area of the game. As long as you don't mess anything up and use too many of them that you aren't supposed to use. And since we don't have the correct Zord to get that Power Morpher, we can just run through it. We don't need to worry about bypassing it. So now we're just basically going to fight the lobbers for a bit until the Brachio Zord gets close enough to the portal. Like I said, this is a very good mission to just farm up on power-ups to use. Like, we have 6 speed power-ups, and I don't even know if by the end of the run I use them all. Because that's like a lot that you don't even need. Because in the final areas, there's not much opportunities to use it. Just another loading screen, because why not? Now we're in Lava Fields, which is another area. So basically this starts with another, like, time thing, and there's a tagger right here next to the generator, and then we're going to switch to Tricera and just destroy the generator. Tricera's special move and its B attack are very effective on this generator. Even though it may not look it, that special move does a lot of damage. It just doesn't look like it because it doesn't flash red like it does when you use the B attack. And doing that has given us our new Zord, the Tricera Zord. I mean, sorry, the Naruto Scroll. So this is the fastest Zord of the game. It is very, very fast. This is all normal movement speed, and it's already faster than all the other Zords. With the power-up, it becomes super fast. So now we gotta basically just destroy these lava drivers. And this is also a good place. Each of them, when you destroy them, you have to use a special move to destroy it, but you also get a special move out of it, so you don't really lose anything. And some of them have crystals right next to them. And there's a tagger over there that I kill from a distance because that tagger likes to be really mean. Only 3 more left. And there's a power morpher there. It's actually like slower to bypass it. As long as you get it and then mash A to get rid of the text, it doesn't lose much time. So now we don't want to fall into the lava here. If you fall into the lava here, it'll respawn you at like the beginning of the area where you entered from. So we just want to spawn there and then turn around with Terra and go towards the mission. And we're using our power-ups there to help us get there faster. There's a tagger on the ground. If there wasn't a tagger, then Demetra would be the safe bet, but since there's a tagger, it can kind of be hard. So I prefer to use Tricera Zord and just use the power-ups there. I got tagged there because I accidentally got confused and tried going the wrong way, like an idiot boy. But now we gotta use our B attack to reflect these shots back at the cannons. And they only take 2 hits, and then we'll get another Naruto Scroll, or Naruto, depending on how you want to say it. These cannons are really easy, even though they seem like they're annoying. A lot of them shoot you while you're running towards them, which makes it very easy, like this one. So as long as you hit it, no matter how far away you are, if you reflect it back, it will immediately go back to it. And that was really good, because we hit one from far away, got to it, and then hit one while close, and it got a quick 1-2 punch on it, and it died pretty quickly. So that's the end of Lava Fields, and now we're going to be going into Volcano Core, which is the final area of the game. There's only a couple missions left. And then we fight the second Zeltrax, which is really only the first one, who tries to be cooler, but he's not that different. And I switched to Demetro there because overworld movement and in-level movement is usually faster with Demetro because it's the fastest Zord. So now we just gotta get the 3 lava drops and then go up towards the portal. To try to get the Cephalozord. And it turns out we can't get the Cephalozord with just that. I'll let you listen to the game. What is that? Well, that's enemies. So all these enemies spawn, and we gotta basically go through them and kill them. I like to start with Tricera because he's very easy to just brute force your way through all these enemies and get them killed quickly. I don't really worry about getting damaged here because it's not that big of a deal. And then once he gets down to about 1 health, I switch to a different Zord so that he doesn't die. Because if he dies, obviously the mission will fail, and that's not good. I like running into the enemies more here because they sometimes don't die with your shots, which kind of suck. So now we're actually going to get the Cephalozord. And there I died. Which sometimes if you're close enough to the mission, you can actually enter the mission while dead and it counts, which is what I was hoping for there, but I wasn't lucky in that aspect. But thankfully I didn't get tagged. So this mission seems hard, but all you need to do is fly backwards. And as long as you do that, there are taggers that normally spawn. As long as you fly backwards correctly, then you won't actually get any of the taggers to spawn. So now there's the Cephalid Zord. This is the final Zord in the game that we're going to receive, and there's only 2 missions left till the end of the game. So we immediately switched to the Metro to go to the 23rd mission because it's so far away that it'd be slower to use any other Zord. There's also an annoying tagger over there, but luckily we killed him. So this is actually one of my favorite missions in the game, and when it's done quickly, it seems really cool. So you got to use all these special moves on the Magmatrons that are on the wall, and Cephalid Zord, believe it or not, can jump very far and very high as long as you aim correctly. And the beginning of this mission was kind of sloppy, but when it's done perfectly, it looks the best. Like, you can, it doesn't seem like you can jump this large gap, but you actually can. Like, that's mainly my favorite part about this mission, is doing these far jumps that you wouldn't normally expect to work, but they actually do. And there's not that many Magmatrons to kill, even though it feels like it's a lot. So now here we're going to kill the final one. And if you actually fall into the lava here, it'll spawn you at the beginning of, like, Volcano Core, where you first enter from. And we used to call that the Seed End's drop zone, but, because it was found by Seed End _. But it actually turned out to be slower. We tried it for a bit in runs, and then I realized that, oh, you're right next to the mission. It's faster not to do the drop zone, which sucks, because it was a cool mission when you use the drop zone. So now we're on the final level of the game, which is the Zeltrax 2 fight. So now, there's nothing different about Zeltrax 2 compared to Zeltrax 1 until you get to the 4th and the 5th hits on him. He'll then try to, like, electrify you, and you just gotta jump over the beam. And he takes 5 hits, so you want to make sure you have 5 power-ups. And it looks like I had 4 entering the fight, so I need to get 1 from one of the crystals on the wall. And on the 4th hit, you can actually just mash B and it'll automatically hit Zeltrax, which is very helpful. Which skips him doing the electrifying thing. So yeah, that mash right there saves having to deal with the electric for 1 cycle. So now we're on the final hit. We just gotta jump up twice, and then hit him, and then go do a special move, and then we can escape Volcano Core. So yeah, the war has just begun, guys, but we beat him. So now, during this next cutscene, we're going to hold up left, and it'll help us actually go towards the portal. You can actually move during this cutscene. I think you can see it. Yeah, you can see us moving. So now we run towards the portal. So yeah, that was Power Rangers Dino Thunder any %. If you're a GDQ watcher, I hope that you choose to put this game in the marathon. I think it's a lot of fun, and it's super short, so it would be nice fit in the marathon, and people love Power Rangers, so that's always a great thing. So thank you for watching, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the commentary.